This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
We ended up at a sex party. I was tied to a wooden cross, had my first orgy, and played with girls suspended from the ceiling. Well, it sounds like you liked it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's a big step for not telling somebody they're going to a sex party and showing up one.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the number one sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad. And Amy.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
The shocking stories of sugar dating. We didn't really have that intro when you were here. We have the original co-host, Amy, in the house, filling in for Lily. We're actually recording 2 episodes this week, but this one won't come out for a couple weeks. So we'll all be back from New York, but she is on the plane as we speak, headed to New York City for her birthday. Excited. We're going to join her. We're going to see a few podcast friends there. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. 55. Oh my God. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. She looks amazing.
How old are you now, Amy?
I am 35.
35.
Yep.
Wow. So Amy and I started this podcast back in 2021. I don't know how many episodes you did. It was maybe 25 or 30.
Yeah, I got you started.
Yeah, got us started. And then she went to school and got a job and couldn't really do it any longer. And now, here 4 years later, you are finishing up school. You're about to graduate.
I am.
That is exciting.
It's super exciting. Last semester, so.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about the party real quick, and then I've got a really fun episode today. We are going to talk about these applications that I've received. I've received dozens and dozens and dozens of applications to come to Sugarpalooza 6, and I've even pulled some from Sugarpalooza 5. One of the questions on here is, what is your craziest sugar dating story? And I'm telling you, the girls stepped up with some of these, and they are hilarious, eye-opening, shocking, but we're going to get into those. And then there's another question on there: what topics would you like to hear about on future episodes? So we're going to explore that a little bit. That's all today's episode is going to be. It's what I'm planning on. Now, we could get off on some tangents because Amy is back on Seeking, and it's an interesting ride. But anyway, let's talk about the party, because Amy's going to be there in a different capacity, I think.
Oh, yes.
So this year, we're going to have her kind of help either a couple people, I don't know, but I need a party planner. Lily and I have been doing this ourselves, absolutely get exhausted trying to put all the details together, coordinate the Airbnbs, coordinate the flights, arrival times, the rides from the airport, the food, the beverages, the parties. So I would really like just to enjoy this one.
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to pay you, Amy, to coordinate all this bullshit that we got to go through. And you probably are going to need an assistant.
I got you.
So we're going to try that this year, which I think would help a lot. Although the last parties have been really organized and everybody can't believe how smoothly they run, but you have no idea the turmoil and the frustration and the chaos that we go through getting everything in order. But if you want to come, we did announce the big news last episode, but if you didn't hear, we have added a third suite to the Shakira concert, June 22nd, 2025.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we have the owner suite, which is a double suite, all in one, which is really cool. And then we got the suite right next to it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so we were able to add more people. We've had a lot of sugar daddies step up, which has allowed us, thank you guys, you're going to have the time of your life. And
the girls are gorgeous.
Oh, and the girls, I'm telling you,
so
the crop
pretty.
of girls that have applied, we haven't done all the picking yet, but it's going to be an amazing party, amazing group of people. We've got some return guests coming. We've got a lot of new people coming. It's going to be so fun. But if you want to apply, go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, and then press the party tab. All the information is there. We are giving away 40 sugar baby packages or 40 fans of the show packages. Have to be female. The men are, the men are paying. They're providing the financial support for the party. But, we have people that come that aren't even sugar babies. They're just fans of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is really cool. So anyway, we're giving away 40 packages, all inclusive, an unbelievable weekend, June 21st through 23rd. Now, the only caveat is you got to find your way to Phoenix. But in the summer, those flights are cheap. I mean, train, plane, automobile, whatever. It is cheap to get to Phoenix because, it's hotter than hell and not a lot of people are flying here during then. So you can pick up cheap transportation or just plan ahead. Get you a sugar daddy to pay for it. I mean, come on. That's what you do. Right, Amy?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if you're a Patreon member, you're going to get priority judging, and it's free to become a Patreon member. It's our fan club. It helps support the show, and we do really appreciate the people that purchase the tiers. They're only $10 a month. I mean, it's very, very cheap. And then we have some coaching and profile review options available, and those tiers are a little bit more, but still, I mean, even if you want to become an ultimate VIP member, which is $75 a month, it's not that bad.
It's worth it.
And even if you don't need any coaching or profile review, we really appreciate it. This money goes towards, the production, the studio time, paying Lily for editing, the parties. There's so much cost involved.
Right.
We are not a money-making business right now.
And I can testify to the profile review and the help with that.
Yeah, you just had one.
I did. Yeah, you guys just helped me with one, and I it's tripled.
That's great. Well, what did we do? We changed around some of your pictures.
The pictures, yes, and then the wording. So
Yeah.
some of the wording was changed, and it's really helped. I mean, I get probably 25 hits a day.
Yeah.
25 to anywhere between, depending on if it's a weekend, I'll get about 100 hits a day.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be successful if you're going to do this, and so many people don't put effort into it, and they're like, "Oh, this really sucks." All I'm getting is guys wanting to meet me at the hotel. They're sending me dick pics, and it's not what I'm looking for. I mean, if it is, you do you, boo boo. But most people are looking for something a little with more substance.
Yes, exactly.
And they'd like some consistency in a longer term sugar daddy or a longer term arrangement. So if that's what you're looking for, that's kind of what we specialize in.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dick pics have stopped. They've really gone a different way.
All right, well, before I get to these letters, I do want to get caught up with Amy just a little bit. You guys haven't heard from her in a while. You got married.
I did, yes, I am.
And you guys are in an open marriage, which is just still foreign to me.
It is, yeah. So I actually have a story to share with you.
Go.
So yesterday, after classes and everything, I actually met a sugar daddy that I thought it was just, they were looking for just a girl to play with. And it turns out they're swingers. So
it's a sugar couple or what?
It's a sugar couple.
Okay.
And he's like, "You're so charming and I really like you, and great conversation, great energy." And he's like, "So I can see, I know you're married, but is he also into swinging and stuff?" And so we started talking about that. And sure enough, we're going to have a double date.
You are. So you and your husband are going to double date with this couple.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I see you haven't updated me on this.
I know. I wanted to save it. So
Wow. I'm really curious on how that goes. Now, when I first met Amy in 2020, I met her like a month after COVID shut down the world. And we spent a lot of time together cooped up in my house because really we didn't have anywhere to go, and she was helping me. Yeah, so
it was fun though. It was good. I had
good times.
fun. I thought it was fun.
We had a lot of Uber Eats,
a lot
of delivery,
a lot of deep conversations.
Yeah, yeah. So got to know Amy pretty good, and she stuck around. She's still here 5 years later.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, it's 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were wanting to start your schooling, and now here you are finishing after 4 years.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So the future is bright for Amy, but I really appreciate you coming in. All right.
Yes.
So today we are going to read some of the craziest sugar dating stories by many of our applicants to the party.
Okay. And these are ones that haven't been read before?
Yeah, no, I haven't gone through these in a while. I've got dozens and dozens. We probably won't get to all of them because I can't just read them and not comment.
Right.
Right. All right, so let's just get started. This is going to be a fun show. I think you guys are going to laugh out loud like me. You haven't heard any of these.
No, I haven't.
I've got a whole stack of papers in my hand.
It's a lot.
And there's some good ones in here.
I'm just waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get your reaction. Some of them are pretty, they're not too crazy, but they're sweet, you know. So,
Okay.
all right, what is your craziest sugar dating story? ML. She writes, my first sugar daddy was 74. I was 23. I had the wildest sex I've ever had and never knew old men were like that. I also found out I was being drugged by a long-term sugar daddy.
Wait. Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay.
What's the oldest guy you've been with, Amy?
Oh, I think...
You're 35 now.
Yes. Yeah. So I think the oldest I've ever been with would have been like 67.
Yeah?
I think. Yeah. I think 67.
And how was the sex?
Oh, it was good. They're very attentive. I love older men. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, yes, older men are the way to go.
There you go.
So,
She didn't really expand on the one about being drugged by her long-term sugar daddy. But if she makes it to the party, I'm definitely want to get more information on that.
yeah, I want to know more about that.
All right, what topics would you like to hear about on future shows? More sugar daddies, she says. I love to know what they're looking for and what they seek in a sugar baby.
So I think that, Marcus, you sent me a message, or you helped me type a message. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Should we read that?
Yeah, we can read it again.
Okay.
I actually have put this message on Patreon for you Patreon members, and we've talked about it in the show. But yeah,
Okay.
why don't you read the message kind of that I gave you on how to respond to sugar daddies?
It has helped so much. Just cut through all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really helped. Yeah.
So what's going to happen, though, is multiple people are going to start using this message, and they're going like,
I
hey, I've heard
know.
this before. But hey, feel free to take this response, this message. I mean, I just coined it up, and I just liked it. So, but feel free to take it and modify it to your wants and needs and the way you speak. But the gist of it is this.
Okay. So here's a summary of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that I can enjoy a nice evening out with. Great conversation over drinks or dinner, with a dose of intimacy if it goes that direction. I'm somewhat of a sapiosexual and love discussing life and business and whatever else comes up. I also love attending festivals, comedy shows, and sporting events. In exchange, I like a PPM to start, which hopefully could lead to a weekly allowance in the future if things progress. But basically, a no-pressure fun evening together. You.
I love it.
It's helped so much.
Yeah. So basically, it tells men, okay, I'm open to a sexual relationship if it goes that direction, but I'm not saying it will, but And then it also says, I like doing things. I'm not here just for the hookup.
Right. And that's where you really want to talk about things that you enjoy. Because I like festivals, but I don't like concerts.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is I like festivals. I like being able to move. Mm-hmm. And so I tailored that very much 100% is everything that I really enjoy.
And then I love the part is like, look, I'm okay with like a short-term allowance, but I would, if it can go to like a weekly, that would be great, but we can work into that. I think that puts people at ease because men get a little hesitant. I've had girls message me and they're like, I only do monthly allowance. Well, I haven't even met you yet.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to commit to a monthly allowance? I don't know your personality. I have no idea if we're going to vibe, our schedule. But they're so set on that.
Yeah, and you as
I get it, but...
And you as a girl, I feel like as a woman, you should also be careful with that too, because what if they're dangerous?
You're right.
And then they hold that over your head and they start threatening you in any other way. Like I don't know.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
All right, so here's the next one from KB. Actually, this was from Kristen Birdwell. We just had her on the show. She's the one who wrote the book, and she also has her own podcast. I think it was called, Sex, Drugs, and Soul? Something like that. So her application, she says, what's your craziest sugar dating story? Either the one in my book or pegging an SD. RJ with his friend watching. I also went to Vegas with him and another sugar baby of his and two of his friends. Those stories are pretty entertaining too. So we're going to have her back on the show. Our first episode went way too quick, and we didn't get into so much of her story. So we're definitely going to explore those further. Some topics she'd like to hear on future shows. I'm curious about couples who met in the Sugar Bowl, maybe joint interviews. Yeah, we've had quite a few on there, but I love talking to couples that have met and it's turned into a real relationship or a marriage. So if you're one of those, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. All right, next one. This is from ES. All right, what's your craziest sugar dating story? A sex-addicted sugar daddy flew me to a wellness resort in Big Sur, but dipped out last minute because he was worried about his girlfriend finding out. So he left me alone with the rental car while he was stranded.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, so he left me along with the rental car, so while he was stranded. All right, well, where is Big Sur? I looked that up. I've heard of it. I just haven't been there. I'll let you look that up. What topics would you like to hear on future shows? More sugar baby advice from other sugar babies. Absolutely. We'll continue working on that.
It's in California.
Okay. Yeah. All right. This is from ML. She says her craziest sugar dating story. I connected with a pilot that flew into Seattle about 3 to 4 times a month. We would wine and dine and then go back to his hotel for lots of kinky intimacy. He even took me out for my birthday, and I discovered that night that I like role play. It was the perfect arrangement until
Dun, dun, dun.
I found out he had a secret wife. Apparently, he had been cheating on his wife, and he had to abruptly end the arrangement, which was really unfortunate and upsetting. We had a lot of fun together. I wish we could have continued our fun, but I wish him the best.
Oh, man.
It happens a lot.
Dude, that happened to me.
I don't know what percentage of men on Seeking are married, but it is a high percentage.
Very high. And they hide it too. Like there
know.
was a guy from my home state that did the same thing. He'd fly down and we started getting, I think he started really developing very strong feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then he let it slip at some point. He just all of a sudden ghosted after like months of seeing each other. It happens.
Yeah. Some things she would like to hear on future shows. I have really been enjoying the advice Desiree and Jay have been offering on the podcast. Yeah, those are some great episodes. Anytime those guests come on, there's a lot of gold in there. I was also happy to hear a recent episode from Dwayne. Sugar Daddy Dwayne. Love that guy. He is so fun. He's always got great stories and great advice. I love all of his episodes and crazy stories. I love the advice sugar babies and sugar daddies offer. I find those episodes incredibly helpful and informative. All right, well, I agree with you on that one. Okay, this one's from ES. Wow, this is a long one. This is going to get good. You ready for this one?
Absolutely.
All right. What's your craziest sugar dating story? She says, probably my first ever sugar daddy that became my sugar daddy sort of by accident. He was actually younger than me, and once he locked eyes on me, just had to have me. Wait a minute. He was younger than her.
Oh.
That's an interesting dynamic.
That is.
I haven't actually read this entire one because it's kind of long, but we're going to experience this one together. I wasn't interested in him at all and honestly was a total bitch to him to try to get him to leave me alone, but it didn't work. He was so desperate to get my attention, he told me he would do anything I wanted if I agreed to go on a date with him. You don't want to let the girl have the control like that, but he did. Interesting. She says, I had a friend involved in the sugaring world, and she recommended I ask him for a new laptop since I was always complaining about mine being slow and old. Well, if you want to play, you got to pay. Right? So I proposed that to him, and he said yes. He didn't bring the laptop to the date. So I was a total bitch to him again and told him I'd block him after the date. Anyways, he eventually got me the computer, which turned into him randomly calling me and asking for help and offering money in exchange. And she puts help in quotation. So I'm thinking,
Okay.
does he need some like sexual help?
That's
Is that what it kind of I'm interpreting that. At this point, we were in lockdown, so I always helped him, quotation. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But really, he usually just was trying to see me and then give me money. We wouldn't hang out. It was all so random. Oh, I see what she's saying, yeah. This progressed to him paying my rent for me, giving me an allowance, and lots of gift giving. He ended up paying the first and last security on my art studio for me, the deposit there. And the whole time I kept telling him I wasn't interested in him. Wow.
Interesting.
This is an interesting felt like I'm gone. Like
I'm gone.
I don't care if you're Miss America. If you're not interested, I'm not chasing you down. I'll move on.
Yeah.
But apparently this guy did. I still don't understand it to this day, so I don't think he even knows what a sugar daddy, sugar baby dynamic is, but we totally had that dynamic. My craziest story is either him or the guy after him that paid my rent for 9 months, and we never even had sex. So people equate sugar babies as prostitution a lot of times.
And they shouldn't.
I mean, here, this girl, he paid her rent for 9 months and they never were intimate at all. And that happens a lot, believe it or not.
Okay. So do you remember the house that I ran?
Yes.
I was a sugar baby and him and I never had sex. He said I was too dominant for him.
Oh, that's right.
And he paid me 10 grand a month.
So if you guys want to go way back in the episodes, Amy managed a house full of sugar babies for one sugar daddy.
Yep.
That was a crazy situation.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to find the episode, put it in description, but that's a really good story. All right. Or another guy was a dumb, wealthy broker I used to see who definitely fell in love with me and then ghosted me without paying. So I pressured him to square up with me, and he called the cops on me.
Oh.
Wow. What was he going to say?
I know, yeah.
Or the guy I saw who pulled up in a Bentley and is definitely a criminal. I still see him, actually, LOL. I don't know. I have a lot of stories, and I have met insane people. I saw this one guy once. I'm still trying to figure out if he was actually Elon Musk because he looked just like him, and then went ghost right after it, and it was a really wild turn of events. And the one evening we shared together. Another one asked me if we could freeze an embryo for Valentine's Day after 2 dates.
I, to this day, still get asked by that one if I will have his kids.
Really?
Yes.
And you haven't seen him in years.
Nope.
And he's a prominent restaurant owner in town.
Yes.
That's absolutely nuts. She wraps up, I'm currently trying to figure out a deal with him on that, LOL. The sugar scene in the burbs of Fairfield County, Connecticut is actually so insane. So this is in Connecticut.
Oh, you want some interesting?
You know, I don't
people
have a
go
lot
there.
of people that I talk to from the East Coast because our number one state for, if you look at downloads, is California.
Oh, yeah.
And then Florida, Texas, Arizona, kind of in that order. But yeah, so I don't have New York is up there, but I don't get a lot of East Coast listeners for some reason.
Just more conservative over there.
I don't know, but sounds crazy. Actually, yeah, she says, what topics would you like to hear about on future shows? Would love more stories out of the New York City scene. Well, maybe we can round up some this weekend while I'm there. That would be fun. Go. That was from ES. All right, the next one here from RG. What's your craziest sugar dating story? I had a potential grilling me on all my former arrangements and judging their occupations. He was so astonished that I had a sugar daddy that was a well-paid artist and kept demanding to see his page and what his art was going for.
Ew.
Yeah. There's a girl in Vegas that I've seen, and she dated a very well-known artist, sugar daddy.
Oh.
Very well. Like, he has studios in a very wealthy shopping malls around the world.
That's so cool.
Yeah, wouldn't be too hard to figure him out, but she has told me some crazy ass stories. Unfortunately, I can't really repeat those because.
Oh, really? You have to tell me on the side.
Oh my God! Yeah,
you piqued my interest.
Absolutely nuts. What topics would you like to hear on future shows? I'd love to hear more about date preparation. What do women do to get ready versus the men? What do the sugar daddies do to prep for a meet and greet? I have just gone on a few meet and greets. I don't do much.
Yeah.
I just try to keep them casual, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll have like either white pants on or some kind of...
You know what's been amazing? Is
What's that?
The ones that I've done that I've had the most success, I literally go in when I'm wearing my construction stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And I tell them too, I'm like, hey, listen, I can go right after work, but it's got to be in between classes. It's just a cup of coffee. And I'm very sorry. I promise you I can get dolled up. I look very good. And
So here's the problem, Amy, though.
yeah.
You have two completely different looks, and you know that.
Yes.
You've got your construction girl look, and then when you get dolled up, people don't even recognize you.
know.
You've come to our parties dolled up, and they're like, who is that? And we're like, I don't know. Who is it? Oh, it's Amy.
Yeah. Yeah. It throws everyone. Yeah, I know. But it's not like, I'm not, for those who haven't seen me, I don't wear a lot of makeup. It's really just like my outfit changes and I'll put a little bit of makeup on because I do the CO2 fractional laser. So I don't wear makeup.
Yeah.
Besides eye makeup.
Well, I'll tell you what, your skin looked so much better than when I first met you in 2020.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you had those freckles everywhere.
I know.
And I don't even see it. It
Yeah,
looks
the
like a
sun-
China doll.
I know.
What the hell?
I know. You guys.
Well, now, okay, people are going to be interested in this because your skin looks amazing at 35. What is this now that you do?
CO2 fractional laser.
Okay.
It's really intense. So you will have to take like a week. I would say, wear a mask or whatever you can because it's pretty intense.
Your face gets pretty beat up during that week.
Yes. Yeah. And then the one that you saw me, the very first one I got was the Halo Pro.
Okay.
And so that's the one that really did an amazing job. But this one is like Shakira. So I'm actually, my husband and I are wanting to go to Colombia to the plastic surgeon that actually is the plastic surgeon for Shakira.
No way.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
So my friend, you met him at our wedding. I don't know a name for him, but we'll have to come up with something.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's where he goes.
Okay. Oh, his skin looks amazing too.
I know. Yeah, for his age. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So that's
How old is he?
he's like 72.
72?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think he is. I think he's 70.
There's no way.
I
He
think he's-
looks so young.
I know. Yeah. Well, he takes very good care of himself.
Wow.
So.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Oh, well, let's talk about the meet and greet just a little bit longer. So I dress like business casual, or like I'm going to meet somebody at the country club or something like that. I don't dress up super fancy, but then I don't come in shorts and a t-shirt.
Does it depend on where you go, though?
Well, that does, but here's the problem. I've showed up and then the girls didn't do anything at all. I had one show up with no makeup.
That would be me.
Just came in her just a terrible outfit. Didn't even put any effort at all. Most girls put in some kind of an effort. They'll do their hair. They come in a nice little not cocktail dress, but like a little sundress or something like that, or jeans and a nice cute top or whatever. I mean, you're pretty much interviewing for a job. So the women need to put in a little bit more effort than the men.
But I found, so for someone like me, if I tell them in advance, I'm like, hey, listen, I do work construction.
Well, if you set the expectation.
I do
then
set
that's
that
fine.
expectation. Yeah. I feel like I'm also trying to attract men for the long term. So if they can't see me for me, then I don't want to be with them. But
that is you. It's,
yes. Yeah.
It works.
It does.
All right. Thank you, RG, for your submission there. This one's from SL. She says, I have a sugar daddy who has a submissive kink. He grew up with a black nanny and would get turned on by her spanking him. Now he enjoys black sugar babies spanking him until his skin is broken and he's bleeding. You've had, Amy's smiling over here. You've had situations like that too.
Did you guys tell him about that sex shop we went to?
What's that?
When we went to the sex shop and we were whipping the guys?
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that so I'd never been to a sex club before, and there was, 8 of us that went?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a group of us that went. And we weren't playing with each other or anything. We're just all friends, right?
Yeah.
So Kevin got up there, and we went into the BDS room, and it wasn't much of a BDS room. I had a couple pieces there. But there was one part, and he took his shirt off, and then you were whipping his back pretty good.
Yeah. We did my husband.
You did your husband?
We did.
Which all the women wanted to do your husband.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they liked it. Yeah. He's very nice.
He's got he's pretty buff.
Yeah, he is. And then we did Kevin.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple.
Then this other couple that we didn't know.
Yeah. So there was there was a lot of people that were lining up, and then we did the girl.
Yeah, one funny thing was I was in there eating popcorn while I was watching it.
Yes, I saw that.
For some reason, they had a popcorn machine right outside the door. I'm like, hey,
why not?
So we're all sitting there, and I'm eating popcorn. Alejandro's grabbing popcorn from me, and we're just like at the movies or something.
It was, yeah. That was funny. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But
That was an interesting experience for me. I honestly think that we were the best looking people there, not to be conceited, but there was some.
Yeah. The couple that we ended up with was.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
I thought they were pretty great.
Yeah, they were.
She was hot.
But most people were pretty well overweight or pretty well.
Yeah, there was some
beat up.
There were some
They just looked beat up.
Yeah, there was younger people that were there, and they would go in and out really quick though. So you just have to find. I think they were pretty nervous because I talked to a couple of them, but it's a hit or miss.
So here's what I enjoyed about it. And here's, I guess, the shocking thing about it. It's a club. It's like a nightclub. It's like dancing, DJ, a bar, just couches where you can just sit around and just chat. And then, on the side, there's rooms. If you want to go have sex, you can go in one of the rooms and have sex.
And all the equipment, like and each one is a different theme.
Yeah, and each one was a different theme. So you're just kind of looking in different rooms going, and they have different chairs, styles of chairs in there. And you're like, some are, a little bit curved and some are this and that. And they had beds in there. But the crazy thing is, most of the rooms were not even being used. Most people were just...
Well, that was at the beginning of the night.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the night, everyone in the rooms, we had to wait.
Oh, you did?
We did, yeah. We had to wait.
The funny thing about that, and I've told the story, is Alejandra, there was this chair that she wanted to go experience. And she likes being on top. That's her thing. Like, she can get there very quickly that way, and then she has a lot more control. And I'm fine with it, too. So I was able to sit on this, like, curved bench, and she was doing her thing, and we finished. And then the bed looked so comfortable, and we was like, well, here, let's just lay on the bed a little bit and relax. And we both fell asleep in that room. And it was like, anyway, it's just funny. As we woke up, we scrambled to get our clothes on. It's funny because we felt like we're doing the walk of shame out of a sex club room.
I know. Yeah.
I was like... Well, we should,
you shouldn't. And
I know you
cares.
shouldn't. I know.
And there's different, rules. Like, did you see the couple where they were very early on in the evening where they had the door open and you could go in and.
Well, I peeked in there and I was like, ugh, I'm not.
I know, but it's still cool that you get to be in that environment.
Right.
So.
Right.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
All right. So back to this one. She said, we're talking about spanking him until his skin is broken and bleeding. She says, sometimes he even likes icy hot being rubbed on the sores. Oh, man. Ooh. I can't bring myself to go that far. He brings paddles with spikes and heart shapes in them for me to spank him. Before every session, he takes me to luxury dinners and buys me thousands of dollars of jewelry. He also has tried to give me a lump sum to pay for my exclusiveness. I wonder what's holding her back on that. What topics would you like to hear about on future shows? Proper etiquette for canceling dates and trips. Wow.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And it happens.
It does.
And I had a meet and greet that was supposed to happen. And we were chatting all afternoon. And then I said, "Is 7, will this still work for you?" She said, "Yeah, it's good." This was like at 4:00 and we're supposed to meet at 7. So then at 6:30, I said, "Hey, I'm leaving in 5 minutes." Got no response. Usually you get a response like, "Oh, yeah, I'm about to leave," or "I'm on my way." Yeah. No response. I'm like, 15 minutes go by. I go, "Hey, is 7 p.m. still good for you?" No response.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the hell? And so I go and look at her profile. I'd been unmatched. And she was following us on the Instagram account, and she had blocked us on there.
That's weird.
Without saying anything. That's not the proper etiquette.
No, definitely don't do that.
On canceling a date. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. People don't like confrontation. They just think it's easier to ghost or just to block. Yeah. And she probably blocked my phone number. She probably didn't even get those messages.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've told people before that I'm just not comfortable. I'm like, "Hey, I'm just feeling really nervous and, I just can't."
She also asked how to tell if he is a real sugar daddy if you guys keep advising not to mention money too early.
Oh, God. I love that one.
Yeah?
I would love to know that. There's so many fakes out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many fake rich people.
With that message that you're using, that should help. Because you're saying,
sure, yes.
"Hey, I'm fine with a PPM to beginning and then weekly allowance if it goes that direction." And if they go, "Oh, yeah, no, I don't do that." Then here's your answer.
Yep, that is.
Okay. Next one. These are good, aren't they?
They are. I keep wanting to go into stories.
I know, but that's fine. I'm sure our audience will appreciate those. Okay, so this one's from NL. Says, what is your craziest sugar dating story? Flew on a private jet to California from Denver with a big-time attorney who was a huge name dropper, and he was a total turnoff.
Oh, yeah. Too cocky.
What topics would you like to hear? I'd like to hear more about sugar daddy, sugar baby relationships that turned into long-term commitment or partnerships.
There you go. Need to get more.
Oh, it happens a lot. We're finding it happening a lot because in this style of dating, it takes the pressure off because you're really not expecting a relationship, or you shouldn't be. And then you're just like, hey, I just want to go out and have a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to help you financially for your time. And if it leads to intimacy, great. But let's just have fun. That's the way it should be. And then if you enjoyed each other's company, hey, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And then you just start naturally growing.
It is natural. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it. It should feel very natural.
Mm-hmm. Just like any relationship should.
Yeah, it should.
That's the problem when I go on, and it's been a while, but a Bumble date or a Hinge date or a Match date, that feels like pressure to me.
It does.
Because they are looking for a relationship from the get-go.
They seem desperate. And they tend to be a little bit more clingy than what I like.
Okay, here's one. Oh boy, here's another good one. All right, this is from LN. She says, I recently met this man on the Seeking website who is looking for a dom. I confessed my lack of experience, and he said, no problem, I will teach you. Okay.
Oh boy.
So he asked me how long I've been a sugar baby and what is my experience. I tell him I have learned the most from this podcast, Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Guess what? I get a message from Lily on the WhatsApp group that a man in Denver is adamant on finding a new dom. So she sends me screenshots of the messages, and it's the same guy talking to me.
Oh, wow.
And funny enough, we had our first sexual hookup scheduled for the next night. Long story short, I met up with me. Dominating him was an amazing experience. Bruised his ass, tied him up, and wore a strap on. So much fucking fun, she said.
Oh, yes.
Well, guess what? It has been 2 weeks, and he has ghosted me. LMAO. Yeah, I mean, the men are men. They...
I feel like a lot of times, so in the BDSM world, there's people that they do that quite a bit. So don't feel bad about that. It's nothing you did. That's just what they do.
What topics would you like to hear about on future shows? How to be sexually dominating and also sweet.
I mean, when you're dominating, it's a role. You're stepping into a role. So
all right.
On-off switch there.
Here's one from AM. What's your craziest sugar dating story? I had a gentleman pay for my entire undergraduate tuition fees, which quickly led to his extensive donation to my university's business administration's financial department. Following this, they renovated numerous lecture halls and renamed the department building in his honor. That's
amazing.
Is unbelievable.
That's amazing.
So he paid for her undergraduate tuition fees and then donated so much money to the university that they renamed the department building in his honor.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Wow. That's wonderful.
That is wonderful. What topics would you like to hear about on future shows? Tax and accounting related remedies in regards to cash gifts, property, and similar assets given by a sugar daddy. So we had a Short King and his sugar baby, who we actually did an extra sugar episode on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not sure what number it is, but
you have to put that in there.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
Maybe I should rerun it as an extra sugar, but yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Keep them coming. All right. Here's another one from. She says her craziest sugar dating story. I went to a Vegas strip club with my sugar sub, the term I coined for the submissive guys who are in a sugar relationships with me. Ha ha. All right, I get it. And we went into a private room with 4 female dancers. I took off my top, and all 4 of the dancers both kissed me on the lips and sucked on my tits that night in front of my sugar daddy, who I don't kiss and hasn't ever touched my breast. It was such a moment of gentle teasing and flirtatious energy, and it was also my first time to a strip club. Talk about a night to remember. Wow. Well, she's actually coming to the party because I believe her sugar daddy has sponsored the party. So there's one direct way in. You want to come to the party? Get you a sugar daddy to sponsor, and then he can name you as a sugar baby, and you're in.
Yeah. There you go.
So, hey, sugar daddies, we need more sponsors because we just added that third suite and we have room. Get in touch with me at info@secretsofasugardaddy.com. All right, what topics would you like to hear about on future shows? I just love stories. It feeds the feminine part of me that adores gossip. I'll tell you what, Alejandra and Lily are the two gossip girls. Oh, my God. And it drives Alejandra crazy because I know some gossip. And I will start.
You started off.
I'll start, and then I'll get into a different subject, and she's like, "Are you going to tell me or what?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And then I'll just beat around the bush for the next 3 or 4 minutes, and it drives her insane because she's on the edge of her seat wanting to know what's going on.
I love it.
And then when her and Lily get on the phone, it's an hour and a half conversation of
believe it.
gossip. It's crazy. She says, whether it's girls or guys or couples, I live and die for the narratives everyone spills. I would love to hear from more transgender sugar babies. My fiance is transmasculine. They were born female and transitioned by cutting off their breast and starting testosterone. Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, we interviewed a transgender one time.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. I am not transgender, but I am very involved in the queer community. So, yeah, we interviewed, I believe her name was Rose. Remember her? It was very early on in the podcast.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
She walked in. She was tiny.
She's so cute.
5'6", very petite. Yeah. I'm telling you what.
Adorable.
I'm looking at her going, this is not a man.
Yeah.
How is this a man?
Well, she wasn't.
Well, she was. She still had her parts.
I know,
but she was as feminine.
Way more feminine than I know.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. And then I was actually looking on Seeking recently. I was checking messages or something, and then I went to the homepage and up pops profiles, and there was this unbelievably gorgeous Latina, smoking hot Latina.
Yeah.
I click on it. I'm looking at her photos. I'm like, what a smoke show.
Yeah.
And then in the description, I'm transgender.
My husband went on a date with her.
I'm just like, what the?
Yeah.
I was almost tempted to reach out and say, hey, can you come on the show? I've invited others. They've bailed on me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So it's not like I haven't tried to get them. Now, honestly, and I don't care about ratings because we don't really make any money on it. A lot of the men tell me, I just skipped that show because I'm not interested in that. But there are a lot of people that are. Yeah. So I don't mind having another transgender on there because it's just a curious thing to me. I'm not wired that way. I don't think that way. So I would love to know more information and how it goes for them.
Right. And there's other transgenders on there. So it would be, like you said.
Yeah. So if you are transgender and you're brave enough to come on the show, it's all anonymous anyway.
It is,
You use aliases and there's no video, but we'd love to talk to you. And
the studio is very comfy. You're safe. So.
Yes, absolutely. I've had people reach out and go, hey, can you give me her number? I've had sugar daddies reach out, and
to Rose?
Yeah, and we messaged her, and I don't know if it went anywhere, but I've definitely had men that were very interested, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Next one. Okay, so this one's from N. Now, English is not her first language. She says, I found a sugar daddy man. He's okay. And when we come to the hotel, he go down his knee and he started licking my shoes and asked me to fuck him.
Oh, he has a foot fetish.
Yeah. And then she says, what topics would you like to hear on future shows? How to protect sugar babies from scammers. Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Yeah. If you have been scammed by a sugar daddy lately, let us know that story because I like to keep up on the recent scams that are going on, and it changes all the time.
Has anyone talked about the one that's going on where they want you to manage like an international OnlyFans
Is that page? A scam?
Yes. 100%. I've had 3 guys ask me to do that. And I'm like, what? I mean, I just talked to you last week.
Right.
They're like, no, you didn't. I've never talked to you before.
Oh, and you got the same message?
Yep. Exact same thing.
Okay, yeah. So beware of that one.
Yep.
All right, here's ML. What's your crazy sugar dating story? I met a guy for coffee. He seemed great, amazing, sweet, legit. We never discussed gift exchange, and I didn't ask for anything since I'm looking for a genuine connection and prefer to deepen it first. We decided to go to dinner and went to a bar afterwards. On the drive, I said I'd like to discuss the specifics of our arrangement. We discussed numbers. He easily agreed, and I felt great, super happy about it. I let him come back home with me, and he stayed over. Nothing super intimate happened. We had a sweet, cuddly night, and not only did I never see him again, he never offered a gift for my time. He showered me with compliments and was perpetually in awe, not sure if he just forgot that this was an arrangement. After some days of not hearing back, he gave me some story about his phone not working. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Reaching back out via the site instead of text. And then something about his family after going MIA again. It was extremely odd. I never got a cent beyond dinner. I felt super weird that he knows where I live, and considering how into me he acted, I'm just not sure what happened there at all. He did mention I intimidated him or him feeling super shy around me, but I just ended up confused about how deep we went and how it ended. Yeah, that's confusing.
That is.
I've had dates where they went fantastically well, from what I thought,
Yeah.
and then ghosted.
So
Complete, never answered my text again.
yeah, there's that. I think Alejandra and I had a conversation with you, a part of it one time. The guy, his name was Eduardo, and he's the MIT guy. Mm-hmm. And he does that all the time. Like, he'll promise you something, and then you'll hang out, and he doesn't give you anything. I think he's a predator, and I reported him on Seeking, but Seeking hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
All right, next one. Well, it's short and sweet. She says, LC says, the crazy sugar dating story, the guy's friend showed up instead of him. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you're expecting to meet one person and somebody else shows up.
Wow.
That's crazy. And then she's still binge listening, so she didn't give any future topics. All right, move on to the next one. All right, so this one says, this is from JS. What's your crazy sugar dating story? Stevia daddy gets obsessed. Basically sugar daddy, a salt daddy, gets obsessed but doesn't want to provide sugar, then offers me a scam job. Yeah. Yep. What topics would you like to hear? How sugaring changed people's lives, love stories in the sugar bowl, tips for new babies, how to be a wise sugar baby. Those are all excellent, and we try to cover a lot of that every show. So thanks for that. Okay. JB. She actually was on the show. Her crazy sugar dating story. Meeting a guy off of Craigslist when I was 20, dating for a bit, but then telling him not to text me until I'd reached out because my dad had my phone while I spent the night in jail. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
What topics would you like to hear? Overlap between kink and BDSM and sugar lifestyle. How many of us are on FetLife? How being in a sugar relationship affects our mental health.
This is amazing. I cannot believe how many BDSM things there are.
So Amy, just to refresh your memory, she knows a lot more about BDSM than most. She's taken courses, studied.
And I was a professional.
You've worked in a dungeon.
Yes.
You actually were on the episode with Alejandra when she talked about her unfortunate BDSM episode, and you kind of guided her through that. And she consulted with you right after that before she even told me about it.
Yeah.
Which I understand now. We are quickly running out of time, and I still have a few more, so
You have a lot more.
I'll go through these fairly quick. This is from KO. Says, I have so many old stories, but lately the most wild I've been is using a thick rubber glove that has different textures and finger ends up my sugar daddy's butt. Ha ha ha. Honestly, I've been so chill since visiting you guys last year. My current sugar daddy isn't overly sexual, so I've been very PG. Promised to go hunting for stories while on my trip around the U.S. Actually, I'm hunting for a guy sugar baby for a MMF date night. I guess male, female. I've had 3 interviews so far for the position and will hopefully tee this up to happen in February.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. What topics would you like to hear? Different shapes and sizes conversations. The longer I'm in this world, the more I realize there's a flavor for anyone. If you need progression in a sugar relationship like you do with a normal one, for example, after seeing one another for a blank amount of time, is there expectations that something develops, or do most sugar relationships stay consistent? Everybody's different.
Yep.
Some of them like to spice it up after a while. Some of them like to pull away after a while. Some of them are consistent and they just like exactly what they have. So
Yep.
Everybody's so different on that. Let's see. Another girl that was actually on the show, her craziest sugar dating story, and I believe she told this one, was flying private to Napa for a couple days with a sugar daddy after multiple video chats. Had fun first night, but the sugar daddy came down with a bad cold, so no more fun or intimacy after that. What topics would you like to hear on future shows? How to be confident when asking for what I'm worth. Yeah, that is a constant battle of how do you discuss arrangement terms.
Yeah.
Okay. CN met a cowboy pilot who taught me how to fly planes and joined the Mile High Club.
Ooh. Congratulations.
So I haven't done the Mile High Club, but I have gotten off a mile high.
Oh, Chantal. What happened?
Well, I've told the story, but Alejandra and I were flying back from Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's the midnight
Stuck
flight.
it down your pants and you said,
Yeah. And it's the midnight flight. We're going to we leave like at midnight and we get in like at 5 or 6 in the morning. And all of a sudden, we have a little blanket over us and all of a sudden her hands go wandering and I'm like, and then one thing led to another.
Is she an exhibitionist?
Oh man, I was just like,
You're blushing so hard right now.
Oh my God. There was a lady right next to us, but it was dark in there too. And people were trying to sleep, but I'm sitting there going, I'm almost there. Oh my God. I'm not saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, and to make it even crazier, I had taken a gummy, a marijuana gummy, because I wanted just to chill and pass out the whole way there. So I'm flying really high. Oh God.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it was fun, but it was a little scary. It was like a little risque. Okay, she says, what topics would you like to hear about in future episodes? Love the finance and side hustles podcast episodes. Yeah, I love doing those too because there's just so many topics we can get into. It's amazing. Here's one. DW. Crazy sugar dating story. Someone who thought PPM meant ownership on a first date. He picked what I was eating, drinking, and then would follow me into the bathroom.
Oh.
That's weird. Another refused to tell me where we were going, and we ended up at a sex party. I was tied to a wooden cross, had my first orgy, and played with girls suspended from the ceiling. Well, it sounds like you liked it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's a big step for not telling somebody they're going to a sex party and showing up one.
Sound like she rolled with it pretty well, though.
Yeah. Yeah. We've met this girl. Yeah, she was at our last party. What topics would you like to hear at our future shows? I'm still working through the past episodes. I've got a notepad and I will let you know. Okay, so she doesn't have anything there. All right, got 2 left. This is from AP. What's your crazy sugar dating story? My first ever meet and greet in Las Vegas when I was living there at the time was with a man who was extremely intoxicated and did not hide it very well. It was a very awkward date, especially because he asked me to go back to his place after getting hammered.
Oof.
Yeah. Future episode topics. I would love to hear more about sugar daddies that invest in their sugar baby's career, overall success in life. Sugar babies have had that experience, and either sugar daddies or sugar babies that can provide tips and tricks on how to reach that status.
You got to show your worth.
Yeah.
Got to show you're worth it.
All right. And then the last one. I've been seeing this SD for about 2 years. Then his wife asked if I could join them for a week-long trip in Iceland. The 24-hour sun meant we could get to the most amazing waterfalls and beaches and fuck with no one around. That's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
That's stunning. Wow. Oh my gosh.
What topics would you like to hear on future shows? How can I better balance third shift and a sugar baby lifestyle? I would rather live the lifestyle than work my nursing job, and so I need to work on the transition from one to the other. There you go. That's awesome. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
Amy,
you, everyone, for sharing.
thank you for joining us. I probably have 20 more that I didn't even get to, but the hour goes fast. We'll get to those on another show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But again, if you guys want to come to the party, and these are all from the applications for people who want to come to the party, go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, and press the party tab. And then we'd love for you to join us on Patreon. Even if it's a free member, that is just fine. But if you want to support the show, even better. Yeah. Tiers as low as $10 a month.
Yeah. It's a great support network, it sounds like.
It is. So. It's a lot of fun. All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.